Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here.
Who are you working for?
I hope that you guys like my cosplay for this part. I told you to have something really good for this playthrough. So, I have my hazmat suit on for this part for Rebirth Island. Hope that you guys like the cosplay on this. But anyways, let's continue where we left off. Let's do Rebirth Island. Infiltrate the Project Nova research labs and capture Dr. Steiner. We'll do it hard. And I have a lot of history to talk about in this part too.
Focus, Mason. You killed Kravchenko. You obliterated their base. Mason, Woods and Bowman were both killed. Your entire SOC team wiped out. Only you survived, Mason. You. No one else.
No, Reznov survived.
Just you, Mason.
No, Reznov is still with me. Since Vorkuta.
After you left Kravchenko's compound in Laos after your team were killed, you went rogue.
No. I wasn't rogue. I was continuing the mission.
You went to Rebirth Island against orders. Why, Mason?
Steiner was there! We had to kill Steiner!
But Hudson and the CIA were already on their way to get Steiner at Rebirth. Why did you have to go?
Dragovich, Kravchenko, Steiner, they all had to die.
We wanted Steiner alive! Why did you have to kill him?
Because the numbers were telling me to! Why don't you fucking understand?
Sleeper cells are on U.S. soil. Nova 6 is weaponized. They will use it. Moscow has gone dark. We are out of options. A preemptive strike on Russia is prepared. The President will authorize. Mason, for the last time, where is the number station?
How many times? Steiner was at Rebirth Island. We had to kill Steiner.
We? Victor Reznov?
Wanted the same thing. The same.
We're losing him again. Oh God, he's back at Rebirth.
I ride with Reznov at Rebirth Island. Finally. Steiner was ours.
We are here. Rebirth Island. Source of Dragovich's poison. They are preparing to deliver Nova 6.
Not on my watch.
Еще немножко! Немножко, еще немножко! Молодец! Молодец, давай!
Еще обезьяны? У нас их что, не хватает?
Разгружай, Юра! Наш приказ освободить место для аппаратуры!
Can someone in the comment section please translate that? What you were saying?
Хорош
I really
жаловаться!
appreciate it.
Грузи клетки на Попристан! Я должен проверить остаток груза!
Kill him, Mason. Take the hatchet. We are outnumbered, Mason. We must not attract attention. Stick to the shadows. Avoid the helicopter spotlight.
So this is a real-life location, and I thought it'd be a little easier for me to explain without the mask on, because probably going to be a lot harder to hear me with the mask. I'll put the mask on when I continue the playthrough later through here. But anyways, about the island, this is a real-life location. A lot of people actually, a lot of players that play Call of Duty don't know that Rebirth Island is a real place. Now, Rebirth Island in the Call of Duty series originally started in Black Ops 1. That's where it, came from. And a lot of Warzone players that play today don't even know it originated in Black Ops 1. But Rebirth Island, yes, we have history to discuss. It is a real-life location. In real life, Rebirth Island is actually located in the Aral Sea. and it's located on the border between Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. Both Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan were part of the Soviet Union at this time. Now, the real-life island is actually called Vozdeniya Island, but it's also called Rebirth Island. So Rebirth Island is not just, what it's called in the game. It's actually called that in real life as well. I believe it's actually translated in the Kazakh language to Rebirth Island. But anyways, about Rebirth Island. Since the Soviet Union was founded as a country, even in its early life in the 1920s, the Soviets wanted to build a biological and chemical weapons facility, and that's actually what Rebirth Island was in real life. It was a secret Soviet biological chemical weapons facility. And the Soviets wanted a location that was deep within Soviet territory, so that other countries could not get to it. They wanted an island. The reason that they wanted an island is so that when they're testing different diseases and such, that if there's an outbreak, it can't get off the island. That's precisely why. And that's actually why a lot of these places are actually located on islands, so that there is not an outbreak. If something happens, it's only, quarantined specifically to the island. So they were looking for an island, and they found this in the Aral Sea. It was originally founded in the 1850s by the Russian Empire, who didn't even have it chartered at the time. But this island, when the Soviets built the facility on this island, it was so top secret that a lot of Soviet maps didn't even show the island was there. It would just show the Aral Sea, but didn't even show the island being there. Now, about it is, Stalin was the one who originally started building up this biological and chemical weapons facility. Stalin had actually sent a Soviet scientist there. His name was Ivan Velikanov Mikhailovich. And about Ivan, arrived there in 1936, and then he actually set up the facility only a year later, in 1937. And then 1 year after that, in 1938, Stalin actually had him shot and executed. And the reason that Stalin had him executed was because of Stalin's paranoia, because Stalin basically thought that everybody was out to get him. He had so many top generals and officers and politicians killed, and Ivan was one of them also. And also, it's believed Ivan probably knew something. He probably knew something top secret, and when he helped set up the facility, it's kind of suspicious that right after he sets up the facility, he gets executed. It's probably he knew something, he helped set up the facility, and they didn't need him anymore, and they got rid of him, which is actually part of the plot that you're seeing right now with Dragovich is actually executing a lot of the scientists involved on Rebirth Island in Black Ops storyline, because he doesn't need them anymore. So kind of similar to the real life history. But anyways, here's the thing about Rebirth Island, and I have an animation on the screen right here. This is actually from Wikipedia. But anyways, about the animation here. Rebirth Island actually is not an island anymore. So it was an island back then. You're probably wondering what happened to it. The island actually dried up. So this basically shows you what actually happened to Rebirth Island over the decades. So in the 60s, it was an island, which you're seeing in Black Ops. The reason that it dried up, and a lot of the Aral Sea dried up, the reason for that is because the Soviets had a lot of irrigation projects around, where they were actually diverting water from the sea to irrigation projects in which they were growing cotton. But I suspect that some of the stuff that they were experimenting with on Rebirth Island probably caused a lot of this to dry up. And the thing about Rebirth Island is a lot of fish actually died in the Aral Sea. So there was thousands of fish that would actually come up on the water just dead because the water was contaminated. So they were doing some kind of experiments there, and some of that stuff ended up getting in the water and basically killed most of the fish, which is probably one of the reasons that it also dried up. It's actually a huge part of it, probably. But anyways, about the place. There was actually a town built on the island because the Soviets didn't want the scientists to actually leave the towns. The island itself. The town was actually called Kantubek, and Kantubek was to house the scientists and the workers on Rebirth Island. There was also a barracks on the island for the soldiers, so there was hundreds of soldiers located on the island as well. I have a screenshot here of the Rebirth Island, and you can see that the buildings that are actually in the game. This is actually kind of similar when you're going to be playing as Hudson and you're actually going to be going for Rebirth Island in that convoy, and you look at the buildings. The buildings are actually very similar to the real life thing. So Treyarch did do their research into what Rebirth Island looked like, but it had a lot of Soviet soldiers on it as well. I don't think it was more than 1,000, but it had a good chunk of soldiers that were on it. They had a military barracks, a shooting range. They also had pens for animals that they would test different diseases and such on. But what happened is in 1971 there was actually an outbreak, and it was actually a smallpox outbreak. And there was actually a scientist that was from Aral, which is actually the It is actually the city that's actually located to the north, and it's in Kazakhstan. And this scientist was on a ship, and the ship she was actually testing the waters from it. She was taking a look at the plankton, testing it, and what happened was she ended up getting sick from it. She got a smallpox infection. Now, the ship was ordered not to get within 40 kilometers of the island, but the ship actually got within 15 kilometers of the island, and she ended up getting sick. She got some of the crew sick. I think the captain got sick too. She went back to her hometown of Arrow. She got a few other people sick. 2 kids died. I think another woman died. So 3 people died in total. 7 other people got sick. So 10 people in total got sick. And what the Soviets did was they quarantined Arrow. They quarantined it, and they prevented anybody from leaving or entering. And they vaccinated 50,000 people in the city of Arrow. Now, the Soviets managed to stop that epidemic from spreading, but they were the reason that it happened in the first place, because they were experimenting with smallpox. And here's the crazy thing. The scientist who got sick with smallpox, she ended up surviving. But the really crazy thing is, she had the smallpox vaccine, and she still got smallpox. So they developed a variant of smallpox that even got through the vaccine. So that's some of the diseases that they were experimenting with on this island. It was very, very dangerous. They were playing with fire. And about biological warfare is literally one of the worst things that a country can do in a biological weapons program. Biological weapons are worse than a nuclear weapons program. I know some people might be surprised for me saying that, but the reason I think biological weapons personally are worse than nuclear weapons. And the reason for that is because biological weapons, if there's some kind of crazy disease that spreads, it could basically make humanity extinct. A lot of people say nuclear weapons can make humanity extinct, which you can make the argument it can, but in the event of even a total nuclear war, there would be islands and small settlements that would end up surviving. So there would still be some survivors even in a complete nuclear apocalypse. But if there was some kind of deadly disease that basically spread over the entire world, that could basically be the downfall of civilization. It could basically kill every single last person. If it's some very deadly disease, especially in the air. If it was in the air and that stuff spread around the world, that could basically be the end of human civilization. It could basically make humans go extinct. So when countries are messing around with biological weapons, they're playing with fire. And this stuff is so dangerous because when you think about it too, nuclear weapons are a bad thing too. I'm not saying nuclear weapons are a good thing, but about nuclear weapons, you're not going to have stuff like nuclear weapons aren't going to blow up in their silos. Like you're not going to have stuff like that happen. But when it comes to biological weapons are so dangerous because they can contaminate everything and get everybody sick. You could have an outbreak and it could basically spread and turn into a pandemic. So that's why biological weapons are just so dangerous. And about biological weapons, the biological weapons are specifically designed to target civilians. That's another thing why they're so evil. They're specifically designed to target civilians because when you think about it, biological weapons are meant to infect large areas of the population. And if another country uses biological weapons against another country, they're really not going to, the soldiers probably be prepared for that. Other armies would be ready. And also, you wouldn't have that many soldiers that would be right next to each other. So the government would take precautions. When they would be using a biological weapon, they would be targeting cities, trying to get thousands of people sick at a time. So that's why biological warfare is just so deadly, evil, and dangerous. And it's a weapon designed specifically to target civilians. And about Rebirth Island, what ended up happening to it after the Cold War, the head scientist that was actually in charge of the biological chemical weapons facility on Rebirth Island, Ken Alibek. Ken Alibek, he defected to the U.S. in 1992. So right after the Soviet Union fell, he defected to the U.S., and he said about the island, he said that the island still has a lot of diseases and it's abandoned, and he says it needs to be cleaned up. And he claims that he developed the most dangerous form of anthrax. So this guy made the most dangerous form of anthrax ever developed on this island specifically. And in 2002, the United States, alongside the government of Uzbekistan, what they did was they cleaned up the island. The U.S. spent $5 million helping Uzbekistan clean up the island, and according to the U.S. government, they had cleaned up the island of all of these diseases and had disposed of all of these containers and all of this stuff that was on Rebirth Island. But what also happened about Rebirth Island, I actually saw a BBC article, and the BBC was actually talking about how a reporter, I don't think he worked for the BBC, but he was from Oxford University, Nick Middleton. He traveled to Rebirth Island in 2005. And when he traveled to Rebirth Island in 2005, he was making a documentary about the island, and he and his team had to take a bunch of antibiotics before coming to the island, and they had to wear gas masks. And the British military expert that was giving them the tour of the area, according to him, when they entered the research lab at Rebirth Island, what happened was their filters broke within 15 minutes. They were starting to break within 15 minutes. So there was still a lot of contamination and a lot of dangerous stuff. But I'm not an expert on gas masks, but the only thing I can say is that if the gas mask is breaking that quickly, there's definitely some really dangerous stuff there. And I would not visit that place. I would not. According to the U.S. government and Uzbekistan, the place is cleaned up. But like I said, I would not want to visit there. I would not want to go there. This is a place where they were, engineering deadly diseases. They were planning on unleashing it on the U.S. in case of a war, and also on Europe. But that's basically the thing is, a lot of people, because of the communist propaganda, people say, the Soviet Union, it was a workers' paradise. It was meant to be for the workers. But in the event of a war, the Soviets would have used those biological weapons against cities where working class people primarily lived, and would have killed God knows how many, working class people too. So the Soviet Union did some pretty evil things. Even after Stalin's death, that facility still kept being ran, and it was ran all the way up until 1991. And right when the Soviet Union was collapsing, the Soviet generals were deciding on what to do with it exactly, and they stopped funding the place, they abandoned the place, but there were still canisters and different diseases and different chemical weapons that were still left there. But the story in Black Ops 1 is that it's a biological chemical weapons facility that is weaponizing Nova 6. But in real life, it was weaponizing a lot of various diseases, but it was very much a real place.
Stick to the shadows. Avoid the helicopter spotlight. Go! Quickly!
Внимание! Все сотрудники с уровнем доступности 3. Пройдите к второй пристани. Судно отправляется через 5 минут. Сотрудники с уровнем доступности 1 и 2 ждут
They are beginning to evacuate the facility.
They know we're here.
Изоляция сектора С через 3 минуты.
Мы уверены, это американцы. Да, вас понял. Я передам сообщение.
Good, my friend. Follow me. The chopper is coming around again.
Notice one thing about Reznov in this part. Reznov has an AK-74 right after you kill that guy, even though there wasn't a second gun.
Must find another hiding place. Wait! Stay where you are. It did not see us.
So again, a lot of the stuff that they were dumping in the Aral Sea definitely contributed to it drying up. The Russian government is claiming that it was mostly due to irrigation projects, but I doubt that. I think it definitely had stuff to do with the crap that they were dumping in that water is why it dried up. On this part right here, watch Reznov on this part. Notice one thing about Reznov. Notice how he'll be at the top of the ladder before Mason climbs up.
Я там буду через минуту. Все, ходим, все равно.
Good. Very good. We are getting close, Mason. We should be able to access Steiner's lab from the roof.
See that? Reznov was on top before you even climbed up.
They've gone to full alert.
It's the CIA. They want Steiner alive.
Then we must get to him first.
So this is the town.
Follow me. We will use the elevator shaft.
Всем работникам лаборатории проследовать назначение зон. Это помещение находится под военным командованием. Любое случившееся будет немедленно арестовано.
Если не это... Ну что с ними будет?
Мой приказ — провести ключевой персонал к кораблям. Другая группа занимается гражданскими.
Сообщение особой важности. Все группы безопасности немедленно видят команду в состав. Это помещение находится под военным командованием.
Ой, санитара, сюда! Я подражаю! Вот они! Осколочные! Понял! Прикрою! Легко! Удерживай их огнем! Накрой их! Понятно! Поле зрения! У нас раненые! Я их вижу! Стоит там! Он прав! Он у меня на мушке! Осторожно!
I don't feel bad about killing the scientist.
Я вижу, это я! Держи в поле зрения! Будет сделаю! Вот он! Он в моем поле зрения! Ты дурак! Раненый! Вот он! Меняю, стреляй! Он мой! Понял! Сделаю! Вот он! Он у меня на мушке! Вот он! Ой, санитара! Сюда! Вот они! Вижу их! Я их вижу! Нас понял! Он прав! Ранен! Раненый! Бросаю гранату! Граната! Черт! Бойца ранило! Скоро его не будет! Вон они! Reloading, cover me! Понятно!
So again, they were doing some pretty bad things at Rebirth Island. A lot of the stuff we'll probably never know that they did. This is real, by the way. They really had animal pens at Rebirth Island. They were testing different diseases and stuff on animals.
Cautious, my friend.
Mason, this is Hudson. We know you're on Rebirth Island. Talk to me, Mason.
That is the most annoying intel to get in the game. It's locked in that room, but I got it.
Be cautious, my friend.
Mason, this is Hudson. We know you're on Rebirth Island. Talk to me, Mason.
Он у меня прицелен! Много целей! Элитинская! Вот он и! Санитар! Вот туда! Я вижу, это я! Он мой! Я вижу! Нас раненые! Я стреляй! Сейчас так поджарим! Черт! Граната! Прикрывающий огонь! Давай на поражение! Санитара! Граната в воздухе! Не высовывайся! Мы сейчас!
This is the best scene in the game.
Dragovich's men are rounding up everyone on the island! Those no longer essential to his plans are being executed! You must hurry before they kill me too!
Friedrich Steiner. This is the end.
I know you. Vorkuta. You don't know what we did to you.
Mason, talk to me.
Your evil has claimed the lives of many good men. No longer.
Killing me will not stop Nova.
I do not care about Noah. My name is Victor Reznov. And I will have my revenge!
I swear to God, that's how Steiner died. Reznov killed him right in front of me!
You're lying, Mason. You killed Steiner. We know you did.
Reznov got exactly what he wanted. Revenge.
We saw the report, Mason. Victor Reznov did not kill Friedrich Steiner. Hudson saw what happened.
Hudson saw what happened. 20 minutes earlier, Agent Hudson and Weaver on the south side of the island.
Weaver!
Go ahead, Hudson.
Mason's still dark. We work our way through the research facility and extract Steiner.
Yankee squad, we're moving.
Alpha squad, let's roll.
Copy that, we're on the move.
So again, if you take a look at the town in the game, it's very similar to the buildings that they had in real life.
They've already begun to evacuate.
Take out those damn RPGs! Got one on the roof!
Hold on it! Удерживай их огнем!
Friendly fire!
Вышка сзади!
On right, that leads to biolab.
Вот он! Раненый! Закрой их! Подъезжаем! Много целей! Нас раненые!
That's the main product to the laboratory. Yankee squad will flank west and meet you there. Understood. Alpha squad, move up. We're moving. Enemy targets on the balcony.
Держи в поле зрения!
Target down!
Да, вот туда!
Enemy down!
Multiple contacts on the road. Hudson, recon reports MI8 inbound on our position.
Understood. Let's pick it up.
Вас понял! Меняй!
Target's down!
Он мой! Я подъезжаю! Вот они! Нужен доктор!
Also, guys, look at that entrance right there. Look at this one, the sign. See that? See that? Let me show you a picture right now. See, Treyarch did a lot of research into Rebirth Island too. A lot of research. They even got the sign correct.
MI8, get ahead!
Take cover!
He's locked on! Move, move! Incoming!
Nova 6! Hazmat suits now!
Alpha squad, we're moving forward. Protect your hazmat suits. You rupture your suit, you'll be dead in minutes.
Business! We see him.
Не высовывайся! Мы сейчас! Вот он!
Enemy down.
Love the soundtrack in this.
Check your 6. I got it. balcony! Target down. Movement on the balcony! Enemy down! Enemy down! Target down!
We're moving up on the flank. Keep heading north.
Understood! We're taking heavy fire from the helicopters!
Stay with it. We're about half a click south of the lab.
Target down!
If you actually shoot the Soviet suits, you can see them breathing Nova 6 and die from it.
Alpha Squad, we're taking direct fire from the enemy. Requesting backup, over.
Almost there, Weaver. Hang on.
Yankee Squad, get out of the BTR! We're gonna get it!
Weaver!
We're alive, Hudson, but they got us pinned down. They're on our east flank.
Got it.
Hudson, use the sealer on the choppers.
See that? They can die from Nova 6 too.
Yeah, I got it.
There you go, you son of a bitch. One more, Hudson. This way. We're almost at Steiner's labs. That's the biolab. Looks like they're waiting for us.
Move out. Stay low.
Weapons free! Weapons free!
Target down!
That's confirmed. Enemy down! Grenade! Move it!
Я его вижу! Он у меня прицелен! Раненый! Он у меня на мушке! Огонь в направлении!
Я вижу! Это я! Удерживай их огнем! Держись, товарищ! Скоро его не будет! Держи в поле зрения! Я подержаю! Подержаю! Нужен доктор! Hudson! Flank left! There's cover! Раненые!
Damn, it's my last mag.
Вот туда! Понятно! Поле зрения! Вот он!
Yeah.
Enemy down! Легко! Я вижу! Target down! Вижу! Скоро его не будет! Держи в поле зрения! Вот они! Он в моем поле зрения! Отлично! Enemy down! Лицом 9!
Осколочные!
Раненый! Поддержаю!
You are hit?
Накрой их!
Hostile
Вас
down!
понял!
Tango down!
Поле зрения!
Вон они!
Я их вижу!
Санитар!
He's dead!
Я поддержаю!
Он у меня на мушке! Я его вижу!
Он в моем поле зрения! Вижу их! Легко!
Огонь! Направление!
Газер! Скоро его не будет! Раненый! Он
Target
у меня
down.
прицеле! Вот он! Нужен доктор! Достань морфий! Сделай! Уничтожи!
Ведёшь!
Принято! Поле зрения!
Он у меня на мушке!
Гренейд! Подъезжают!
Вот он!
Вижу их!
Я его вижу!
Он ранен!
Огонь!
I'm out, reloading.
Enemy down!
Понятно!
In here! This is where Steiner will be!
Санитара!
Вниз!
У нас раненые! Он не жилы!
This way! The biolab is below us!
Уничтожь!
We need to pass through decontamination!
Mason, this is Hudson. We know you're on Rebirth Island. Talk to me, Mason.
So Hudson says that same thing to Mason,
Let's
and
find Steiner!
Mason, this is Hudson.
when you're
Are
playing
you
as
there?
him, and it's right when Mason's approaching Steiner, you hear that.
Target down!
Ой, санитара!
It's Mason.
What the hell is he doing?
Killing everyone between him and Steiner.
You can see the remnants of Mason's rampage here. What the? Okay, This is what Mason did here. Mason did all this.
Hudson, where are they going? They didn't see us.
Got him! Достань морфий!
What the hell was that?
It's Steiner. He's trying to contact us. Steiner, what's the situation? Steiner, what's the situation?
Dragovich's men are rounding up everyone on the island. Those no longer essential to his plans are being executed. You must hurry before they kill me too.
Нужен доктор!
Now, a lot of you guys who are watching this the first time are going to be really confused.
Mason! We have to stop him now!
Damn, it's bulletproof!
Mason, what are you doing? We need him alive! Stand down! Stand down!
My name is Victor Reznov, and I will have my
Revenge! Mason, no!
I'm fine. Check Steiner.
He's dead.
What about Reznov, the defector? We need to find him.
We won't. He was never here. I didn't believe it till I saw it with my own eyes. What did they do to you in Vorkuta, Mason?
Steiner dead. Mason's our only link to the numbers broadcasts.
We need to bring him back.
Let's go. This way! It will take us to the dock! This is Weaver. We have the package. We're on our way.
Copy that. We're taking the docks now.
What the hell did they do to you, Mason?
So I guess that's that for this part, guys. Hope you guys like this part in the cosplay. We'll still have one more part, the final mission in the game, coming up on the next part. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, drop a like. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.